Can we clap?
This is Feminized Podcast with Liz Grow, take one. Hey, everyone. If you are watching on any of the platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, I even think we're going live on, I want to welcome you. This is one of the first recordings of Feminized Podcast with Liz Grow. I am your host, Liz Grow. And Feminized is all about inviting the most empowering and inspiring women in the cannabis game to have real conversations with me about culture, lifestyle, and the future of cannabis on females. Streams having connections. So I chose to focus primarily on females. You all know the plant that gives us THC is the female plant. I also hate women in this industry. It's very male dominated, and oftentimes women's voices are drowned out by and multiple men in the industry who are driving it. So that's the purpose of this podcast, and I'm so excited to welcome you today. We have a very special guest. Her name is Yani Amayra. She's a cannabis photographer and marketer, and she actually we had the pleasure of doing a photo shoot with her last month and had a great time with her. And I just want to get into her head, find out a little bit more about her life and how she's really shaping cannabis culture from where she is. So I'm just going to wait for her to join. Let's see. Got some chat. Oh, we're going live on Facebook too, it looks like. So that's fun. Yay! Yanni's here. Hi.
How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Yay!
Yay! So exciting. Oh my gosh. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let me turn this sound
I'm
up a little.
super intrigued by this stream service. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I've been playing with it last month or so, and it's awesome. It's really awesome. The only problem is it doesn't stream directly to Instagram, but that's an Instagram thing, So,
Right.
and there are workarounds to that too. I just didn't feel like, struggling with it this morning.
Right. Is it better for you if I'm horizontal this way or portrait?
I don't know. Why don't you show me?
I'm gonna flip it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, let me see. Is this
Oh, okay.
This is
Yeah.
better, huh?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, because you were kind of like on the side, which is cool because, but
Yeah, this is better.
yay. Oh, fantastic. Well, Yanni, I mean, should we just get started, Patrick?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was going to say cue it up like if you want
to. Okay, great. I'm going to cue it up.
Okay, I'm actually gonna see if I can just do it on my phone because it's probably gonna be easier. So let me.
Okay, yeah.
Up on there because I'm on my iPad right now because I thought it would be easier like horizontally.
Right. This service is like I've used it on the phone before, and it's pretty damn slick.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be easier for the both of us.
Yes. Ooh, I love your lion.
Thank you.
And am I pronouncing your name correctly? Yani Amayra?
Amaya.
Amaya. Okay, did I misspell your name here? Amaya, totally misspelled it. Please hold. Amaya. Shoot.
So we're almost over.
Okay.
So it's whenever. We're good.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna do Amaya. Dude. Okay. How fun is this if you're still watching live, guys? Oh, here we go. She's back.
Yay!
Ooh, okay, that looks good. iPhone for the win. Right?
I know, right?
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna lead us in and we'll just get going. It's gonna
Okay.
be fun. Awesome. Welcome everyone to the Feminized Podcast. I'm your host, Liz Grow. On the Feminized Podcast, we invite the most inspiring and empowering women in the cannabis game to have real conversations about culture, lifestyle, and the future of the plant on this planet. And I'm so grateful to have my guest, Yani Amayra, on today. She's a cannabis photographer and marketer, and I'm sure you do so many other things in cannabis that I can't wait to learn. I can't wait to hear more. Welcome, Yani. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here to talk with you, Liz. I think we are going to have great conversations.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, but first, all great conversations typically begin with a bowl. So,
Yes, they do.
Hey! Cheers!
I was
Cheers!
waiting for you to say that. Cheers.
Ooh, trying to do hemp wick.
I know, mine's like not lighting.
Hemp
There
wick
you go.
is so problematic. Mmm. Ah.
But you have no idea how much I missed my bong when I was away.
Oh. It's the worst when you're traveling. It's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to have a travel piece and it's just not the same. And yeah. So what are we smoking today?
I am smoking on some Gorilla Glue number 4.
Shut up. So am I.
Oh,
So
really?
am I. Yes. I love it. It's meant
That's
to
super
be.
cool.
Yeah, I just picked this up from one of our Liberty Market cultivators here in Texas. And I just, you know me, Yani, I'm so proud of Texas Bud that I like to show it off.
That's
Isn't that pretty?
beautiful.
Yeah. So where are you? Where in the world are you right now?
I am currently in LA, Los Angeles, San Pedro area.
Awesome. So for the audience who doesn't know who you are, give me an overview of who Yani Amayra is and what you do for the cannabis game.
Okay, of course. So I kind of like to consider myself a jack of all trades. I was born and raised in Texas and then moved out here to San Diego, and I've been in San Diego going on 6 years now. I started off just doing regular I was very heavily involved in the military community, so I started off just doing regular portrait work, maternities, weddings, things like that. And then after a while, I got I mean, it sounds harsh to say, but I honestly got tired of having regular people in front of my camera, and I wanted something more and something more exciting. And I've always been a cannabis user. I'm going on 10 years that I've been using cannabis as medicine. And I started just taking like pictures of me smoking. So I started doing self-portraits, and then at that point I was going to like black market like places to get my cannabis. And so I started meeting black market brands and talking to them about how I do photography. And that's kind of where word of mouth kind of grew from there. I did one person's product photos and they were like, "Oh, who did your pictures?" They're like, "Oh, this girl," because everyone knew me as Hazy. On Instagram, I'm Hazy Lioness, so everyone knew me as Hazy, like, "Oh, Hazy did it, Hazy did it." So that's where I kind of like popped off and I started working with brands to do content marketing, whether it involved me in front of the camera or me doing the marketing for them. So that's where I grew. I started getting invited to farmers' grows and started taking pictures of their plants. And so they had like marketing and advertising for that. And then after a while, after
Good.
about a year and a half of doing it, I was sitting on so much cannabis photography, like so
Mm,
much. I was like, I need to do something with this, either stock photos or like something. So then from there is where Better Homes with Cannabis grew. I started taking those cannabis photos with the permission of the farmers to use
hmm
them on cannabis home decor. My idea was to have Better Homes with Cannabis be a whole segment at like Bed Bath and Beyond or Hobby Lobby or Joann's. Like I wanted to be a whole like the pioneer woman, but Better Homes with Cannabis.
Oh my God.
So I started to make
Yes.
blankets, shower curtains. You walk into my house and everything is Better Homes with Cannabis. There's pillows, blankets, shower curtains, tapestries, canvases. There's different merch lines. Like there's a mom collection, there's a Canadad collection, there's a mushroom collection because I'm all earthly all around.
Yes.
So
Oh,
that is where Better Homes with Cannabis grew out of Lioness Visuals because I separated the two entities of portrait work and cannabis photography.
hmm
So my cannabis photography is Lioness Visuals, and that's all event and branding, cannabis, all that stuff. And then I have Better Homes with Cannabis, who is the home decor line that came out of Lioness Visuals. And
Yes.
then out of both of those, because I started doing so many events, and my mom's always been an event planner. She likes to like put things together.
I can see that.
So
I can see
yes.
that. She was such a sweetheart. We only met her for a short amount of time, but she definitely,
Yeah.
I could tell she was like in it, like plugged
Yeah,
in.
she likes to be very involved.
Yeah.
So from there I did my 28th birthday party, and out of my birthday party everyone was like, "Yo, you should do this on like a regular basis," because it was like a consumption for I had a bong consumption bar, I had a DJ, I had a bartender. Like it was a whole party. And
You
everyone
just,
was like, we need this on a regular basis. Like, we need this every month. So from there grew Hazy Times. My boyfriend and I took the idea. We were like, oh, yeah, we kind of should do this. And we've also wanted to create a photography studio. And we already had the name Hazy Times in mind. So we were like, why don't we just combine this and make it a whole, like the future of that would be a whole building where you need an event, go to Hazy
mhm.
Times. You need to an event
Decorate your
like
house.
studio. Yeah, you need to
Mhm.
decorate your house. Hazy Times. There's a whole like home decor section. So yeah, that's kind of what I do for the community. I especially love to help small businesses grow and help them look more professional than what they appear to be, if that makes sense. I mean, that sounds ugly. I
Total
kind of worded that
sense.
wrong, but just to make them appear more wholesome in what they're trying to do and make them
Mhm.
look more professional as they walk down the path of entrepreneurship.
God, everything about what you just said is just like, I'm so excited to be having this conversation, and learning this about you because we know you as a photographer, behind the
Mhm.
camera. I'm so glad that we connected, what was it, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, just
Yes.
through the Texas cannabis advocacy kind of movement.
Mhm.
And, we really just like, we were taken aback with how I think how you had a vision and how clear your vision was for our brand, in front of your camera.
Mhm.
And it was just very, very cool to be a creator and then have another creator kind of, reach out and say, hey, I've got ideas and they're good. And it just
Mhm.
feels good. And so that's how we know you as this just brilliant creative, and working with Grow House Media, Patrick and mine's brand. But so you've got this home brand using all these photos that you took when you were taking cannabis, when you were taking photos for
Mhm.
farmers. And there's a website, yeah?
Yes.
Or no?
Better Homes
Okay.
with Cannabis.
Better Homes with Cannabis, betterhomeswithcannabis.com.
Yes,
Okay.
betterhomeswithcannabis.com.
Okay. You'd be surprised. That it's like, seriously. No, I love that because you know what that does is it's like if you have a tea towel with a beautiful cannabis plant,
Mhm.
you know, like I could give that to my mother-in-law for Christmas, you know, and
Yes,
she wouldn't know it's the cannabis plant. You know, she wouldn't know that it's something that's like illegal here in Texas. But she would love it and it would be out and it would be, I don't know, like there would be this like emotional connection happening and she wouldn't even know it, you know. And as you know, that's where we are and what we're all about, you
right.
know, from behind enemy lines in Texas. So let's go there. So you grew up in Texas. Talk to me about that.
Yes. Ugh, that was a struggle. Let's just say the DARE program was instilled hard.
Hmm.
Like
So why were you
they
in
nailed
Texas?
that in. That's just where my family lived in. I grew up in a small town called Eagle Pass, right on the border.
Yes.
I am a
Love Eagle
border
Pass.
rat, as they say. But yeah, it was harsh growing up there. The border was grew up with a lot of stigma that still very much is alive today. A lot of
Hmm.
stigma that grows, especially around our veteran community.
Mm.
Um, so and it makes me emotional just talking about it because it is painful to go back because there's a lot of people who just don't understand.
Tell me.
They don't understand the benefits of this plant and what it can do. And it just hurts to see people struggle that could have such a better lifestyle if they just rubbed a little cannabis on it.
Oh, that's so true. And it's so deep. It's so simple and so, so deep. Um, Specifically, you're talking about the veterans community, I feel like.
Yeah.
Can
Veterans
you,
and the elderly too.
yeah, yeah. So tell me a little bit, you know, I found it so just cool how aligned we kind of were in different ways in our lives. And, you know, I'm an army
Mhm.
brat. I
Yes.
was, you know, born in Italy, came here when I was 4. My dad's military, my mom's military. Every man in my family served, so you know that culture, you know that cultural mindset. And so
Yes.
I thought that was cool, working, you know, together. But tell me about your background with the military.
So my background with the military stems down to truly and honestly me being I was a military wife at one point. I was a
Mm.
military wife for almost 5 years.
How old were you
But
when you
also just
became?
I was 20.
Hmm.
I was 20 and then I was 25 when we separated.
Hmm.
And it was tough. Out of those 5 years that we were together, he was deployed 4 times. So it
Okay.
was tough being in that
Okay.
lifestyle.
So
And
you.
just growing up in a small town, all of my friends are military too. I have several friends back home that are
Mhm.
military. My stepdad served in the army as well. I have several uncles and cousins that are Marines and Army. So that's
Okay.
truly what it stems down to is just being in a small town. It's kind of they make you feel like you don't have an option. Like you don't have an option to pay for college. You don't have an option to go to college because you can't pay for it, but you can join the
Right.
military and the military will help you pay for it. So that's truly why a lot of people in my small town join the military is because like, okay, I'll serve my time and then my college will be paid for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I am blessed to say that some of my closest friends are like in the process of getting their master's degree. And a
Mm.
lot of them are giving back to their community and serving as like officers, border patrol. So it's good. It's good to know that it goes full circle. They serve
It
their
does.
time and then they come back and still give more.
Yes, yes. And it is a beautiful thing. You know, I think the military gets a lot of, you know, flack and certainly heavy, heavy scrutiny. I mean, it's our biggest spend as a country. It
Mhm.
should get the most scrutiny. And there's, you know, within the within the culture, there's a lot of fucked up, you know, there's a lot of fucked up shit that happens, but there's also a lot of great, great stuff. I wouldn't trade my just, I guess, military upbringing for anything. You know, it was a
Mhm.
beautiful family, very interconnected, very tough people, you
Yes.
know, who are all kinds of people though too, it's like, but anyway, oh my God, where was I going with that? Oh, so a lot of good things came from it too. But, our problem, I know we instantly started talking about the VA and how the VA is really turning its back on soldiers, on our soldiers,
Hmm.
not giving them full and complete access to the plant. It's sickening. It's sickening. And those, the tears that were shed earlier, I feel like for me, there was a feeling of crying for those men and women who
Right.
feel like they have been so left behind, your ex-husband included. There's a very we gotta give them the plant, we gotta give them access, we gotta figure out our relationship with
Hmm.
it. We can figure it out. Of course, I don't want my heavy machine operator smoking weed. Okay, those people typically don't like slower drugs though. Okay,
Right.
newsflash.
But they allow
They
them
li-
to drink alcohol,
yeah, they
which is
uh,
much more life-threatening,
yeah, well,
in
it's
my
it's almost
opinion.
completely, think about it. With alcohol, we're almost controlling the population, right? Because it's ethanol.
Hmm.
I drink alcohol. My God, it's holiday season. My blood, I swear to God, is Tito's, okay? At this point. But you know what? We balance, we find our way, whatever. No, you're not going to get any judgments here, okay? Um, I'm certainly not going to judge myself, but it is ethanol. It is alcohol that you can
Hmm.
set on fire, that you pour it on something and it kills it. Like that's what we're doing. And it's crazy to me that in a culture like the military, where we're like, wouldn't it be cool if we were like Spartans? If we were like committed to health and fitness,
Hmm.
mental, emotional, physical, all of it for our military? That would be dope. That would be something I would be more than happy to spend even more taxes on. So,
Yes.
but yet we are serving them alcohol. We're not giving them any life skills. I'm military family. I mean, you get married so young and
Hmm.
you don't have the skills, and then you move away from your parents, and then you self-medicate, and there's not a healthy self-medication option, aside from jacking off, I guess, and going on runs.
Very true. You need
I,
that release.
I mean, I'm thinking of like, what do you have in the military? And then I have alcohol, and I got to do it. It's like, come on, man, we got to loosen
Yeah.
those, we got to chill out, and it's a systemic thing. So, um, your voice, I think, is very important. I think you are going to reach a lot of women who have been in your position, military wives, who have been
Hmm.
just in this position of like, there's got to be a better way. And it's really, I think it's the plant
Yeah.
calling them.
Yeah,
Um,
because there was a lot of I mean, they break them down and build them back up to
yeah,
be different people, and
yeah,
it was a struggle adjusting every time he came back. So that was, I mean, and I think that was honestly a lot of the rift that was, and we were also so young. So
yeah,
eventually, with all of that change for the both of us being apart for so long, we grew
yeah,
to be different people.
right, right. You're going on
And
with your
that's why there's so
life.
much divorce in the military too, because like
Hmm.
you have to go, you have to keep going the same way that they have to keep going, like you have to keep going too, and
Right,
things change,
right,
so
right.
people
And
change.
right, and it pains me that the military doesn't put resources behind, or more resources. And of course, I've been so far removed from it, so I can't speak to modern
Hmm.
day. And I know there are resources that are available, but I feel like there's if you want to enforce this system, if you want to create this culture, you have to be about it. You have to support it. You can't just expect, we're just animals at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We are doing our best. We are tribal. We are, hopeful. And military people are no different. It's just a really crazy, crazy system, man. And but you're so cool. So you got, so not that that's not cool, but you really do have this plant focused energy, that seems
Yeah.
like it's been there forever. So what is
Yeah.
that about?
Um, I think it's just like growing up in the desert. I mean, you have to be used to my grandma. I remember my grandma once rubbed an egg on me. I was super sick and she rubbed an egg on me. And I didn't understand like why this, like when I was a kid, I was like, okay, this egg's just gonna be rubbed on me. Like, okay. And then later as I got older, I started watching like all these movies and videos and things like that started coming up and I was like, "Oh my God, that's like herbal plant medicine or like, things that just spiritually that you believe this because I know a lot of people that they'll pack their bowl and they'll put intention in their bowl. Like before
Mm,
they smoke it, they'll put intention in their bowl. So it's like cannabis, not only is it a healing plant, but you can also spiritually connect to it. And
yes.
that's just meditating, smoking, putting intention in your bowl, making sure that you're productive in that lifestyle. And that's where you break the stigma of being a lazy, like couch stoner. Because
Mm,
no, we're using this medicine to guide us to something bigger and to heal us in the process of it.
mm.
So, especially as women, I feel like if you think about it, Eve was the one who bit the apple. So we are already technically like genetically we have so much trauma.
Yeah.
So we have to already like be spiritually guided within ourselves.
Yes. Yes.
Um so yeah, I think
Yes.
Canada, and that goes
Amen.
for fungi medicine too. Like anything herbal, teas, like just all of that stuff. Whether you're bathing in it, or
Mhm.
you're steaming your face with it, or you're drinking it, or you're rubbing it on your body, or it's in your like. That's why a lot of CBD facial elixirs you see them with like little flowers in there, little like all of that is
Mm.
herbal medicine that's being put together, being concocted in its own like witchy way, and
Yeah.
then you put it on your face, you put it on your body, you do whatever you
Yeah.
need, whatever needs to be done spiritually with it to feel that energy and soak it in and just move forward with it.
Oh, amen. You got me thinking about the elderly populations as you're
Hmm.
telling me this, because we're talking about a time long, long ago when all we had was herbs and eggs,
Right.
and what we know in our spirit and in our soul and the things that we'd passed down, right? Not modern medicine. Modern medicine is so new, but yet there is a generation and a half who is so just that's it. That's
Hmm.
not allowing for this completely other side of it. And it's like this is medicine and then this is modern medicine. And that's how I
Right.
feel. But kind of baby boomer population, generation, it's very much so like "Arr, that's our
Yeah.
medicine." So I
Hmm.
just how do we reach them? I mean, what do we do? Like, I want them to chill out and I want them to enjoy their lives more.
It's hard. I mean, if people aren't open to conversation, it's hard. And I
Yeah,
think they just have to experience it for themselves to
yeah.
be able to, because that's the only way.
Right,
Because
right.
communication at this point is not working.
No, no, and it's like, "Okay, we don't need to keep doing this, okay? I'm gonna go around the corner, I'm gonna smoke a joint, I'll be back." And I'm like, "I wish you
Yeah.
had the same for yourself." But,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Because that's how
it's
I've been dealing with it. Like personally, with my family, that's just how I've been dealing with it.
mhm,
I've always been very quiet, very in the closet about my use. And it wasn't
mhm.
up until recently, and I mean recently, like the past year, that all of this stuff just happened with my family, with my grandfather, that I felt it necessary to be open and honest about what I think the plant could do. But being that all of my family was in Texas and it's an illegal state,
Mm,
my grandfather got cancer and it wasn't like he could openly use. And
no,
then it was just a whole bunch of stigma against him using, and then him not being
mm,
to continue, him not being able to continue his treatment.
yeah.
So
So
it was then when I became like open and I was like, no, this is like what we do. And especially because while he was sick, he's diabetic too.
mm,
He was diabetic, so his ankles would swell up a lot. So I started rubbing like this CBD oil that my aunt had actually. I asked her, I was like, hey, do you have any CBD oil? She's like, actually, I do have one. And I put it on him. And the next day he was like, hey, can you rub some more of that lotion that you put on my ankle last night? He said that he was like, it really helped. And I
oh
was
my
like, okay.
gosh.
So, and that's what I mean. It's just a matter of them using it and experiencing it for themselves to be like, okay, because then after that I ordered some from my boyfriend here. I had him buy some lotions for me and send them back when I was in Texas, and I gave some to my grandma and she started using it. She was like, oh my god, it's amazing. I just told her, I was like, hey, this is just, it's just topical, like it's lotion, they're not gonna,
I,
nothing's gonna happen. It was just CBD as well. There was no THC in it, just CBD.
too bad.
And and they used it and it was, she loved it. That she told my aunt, she was like, oh, you should ask Yanni to get you some of that lotion that she got me, like it's awesome. And so then I gave some to my aunt. She started using it for her knee. My other aunt asked me for some. She's like, I need some for my back. So then it was just like, after that, it was like word of mouth. And it wasn't until like around Thanksgiving that I was like, you guys do know that this is a CBD lotion that you guys keep asking for, right? And they were like, what? And it started this whole thing. And I was like, yeah, you got like, y'all talk all this shit, but you were rubbing it everywhere. You were rubbing it
I
all
saw
over
you over there.
yourselves. Asking for more, asking for where the second
Right?
bottle was.
I have the texts, I have the receipts. That's so hilarious. I love it. And that's really what happens is the plant finds its way into our lives. It
Mm-hmm.
always, it naturally does. And I love connecting with women like you who seem to be the mother plant of their networks and of their communities.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels really good and it revitalizes me. Because I very much play that role too. I'm always leaving gummies here and there. I'm rubbing things on. I got
Mm-hmm.
high with my parents for the first time last Christmas Eve.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're gonna have a repeat of that this year. Yeah, it was crazy. My mom
That
was
sounds
finally.
fun.
I'll tell you this. My mom was finally drunk enough to be like, "I'm ready," and I'm just like, "Oh God, the irony." But let's go, lady. We're gonna do it anyway. So we run out into the woods. Like seriously, I'm like, okay, I think we're far enough. We lit up a joint, and she held it in, and she blew it out. And she was like, "Yeah, that's good." I was like, hasn't
I tell
smoked
my mom all
since.
the time now. When I first told her that I was consuming, I was like, "Mom, you know I smoke weed, right?" And she was like, "No." And then like she was like very just blatant. It was like, "Oh yeah,
Denial.
whatever." And then like a couple days later, I made a joke about it. I was like, "Yeah, well, that's why I smoke weed." And she goes, "I never thought it would come down to this, to you being this way." I was like, "Being what way? Like, what are you talking
Being this
about?"
awesome,
I was
like
like, being this successful. I was like, I live in California. I've run all these businesses. I was like, and
yes.
I never ask you for anything. I was like, what do you mean? How dare
She'll come
you?
around. You'll have your moment with your mom of I'm ready, and you're gonna smoke with her, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Like,
Okay,
you can
so
smoke a joint with me.
for real, God. All right. So speaking of smoking, I have 3 questions that I ask all of my guests, but
Yes.
before, let's get a little smoke. They're not necessarily
Oh,
quick
yeah.
fire, but they're questions that I like an answer to in a reasonable amount of time. That's coming from me. That's what, 30
Okay,
minutes?
okay. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers, baby. To women. To women and those who identify as femme, because I don't know who the fuck would want to take on this pain body voluntarily. But if you do and that's how you feel, then we will accept
Yes.
you Those of us who were
Yes.
born this way, we
Amen.
accept those of us who came over. Thank you. We need all the help we can get. We're stronger together. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yani Amayra, the Hazy Lioness. Question number 1. What's your dream smoke circle? So it's you get to pick 3 people, dead or alive. Go.
Snoop Dogg for sure. Willie Nelson, and man, I don't know. I think Rihanna. I'd like to smoke with Rihanna. She a stoner.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my God, I love that
Oh,
smoke circle.
and Jack Carrera. I'd like to smoke with
Ooh,
Jack Carrera.
yeah,
That would be dope.
that would be dope. That would be a dope circle. Okay, what would you be smoking, and what would you be smoking out of, or how would you be consuming?
Well, I would prefer. I think we would be definitely passing like a good 3 or 4 joints around,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd have a bong for sure because I like bong rips. And
Yes.
and if Jack Carrera's there, we'd definitely be smoking Jack Carrera. We'd all have to be that lifted.
Oh God, I love this. Okay, cool. I'm gonna slide in on this smoke circle. I'll be like, hey. Okay, question number 2. Tell me about another woman who you think is crushing the game right now in cannabis, or another woman who's really inspiring you right now.
I would definitely have to say Joanne Buena. She is San Diego Afro Latina. And she is a cannabis consulting agent, but she's also a cannabis marketer as well. She has Cannabis Synergy Studios, where she does exactly what Grow House Media does. You know, they produce cannabis content for the community.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. We'll make sure to get her info and put it in the show
Yes,
notes for sure so people can find her.
yes.
Okay, and third question. What would you tell your 13-year-old self about how to thrive in today's society?
Uh, what would I tell my 13-year-old self as to how to thrive? I would say just keep moving forward without fear of judgment. Yeah, because as a child, I was always scared to just do stuff, fearing what others were going to think. So I
Mm-hmm.
think just keep moving forward without fear of judgment. Because
Yeah.
the ideas that you have, trust your gut instinct, like they're going to take you places.
Mm-hmm. Would you give her any compliments on how she turned out?
I would say that you are beautiful inside and out. You're funny, you are creative, and you're blessed amongst all things.
Mm, I love it. Okay, so last question, and it's the biggest, of course. It will take as much time as we need here. But what does the future of cannabis look like to you? And I'm talking the future of cannabis. You can make it as micro as your own sphere, or as macro as a whole planet. But I want to know what the future looks like to you.
Um, I am very much um I want the plant to be accessible for everyone, but I also fear that because it's such an amazing healing plant, it'll be abused in ways um involving in like industrial money, if that makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
I think like
Mm-hmm.
I think at a certain point, big pharma makes their money how they make their money, and this is just being real. They if people aren't sick, they're not making money,
Mm-mm.
and if people are healing with cannabis, they're not making money.
Right.
So I think that's why the stigma with cannabis is real. I want everyone to have access to the plant in the future, but I think the future of cannabis is very scary to think about because we want everyone to have access, but we also don't want it to be at the cost of, an arm or a leg, because of
Right.
what it brings to the table.
Right. Absolutely. At the
So,
cost of entire communities.
yes, because
You know?
cannabis can replace everything. You can use cannabis as fuel, you
Mhm,
can use cannabis as a plastic replacer,
mhm,
you can
mhm.
use cannabis to replace clothing, cotton. Like, can you imagine if cannabis became fully legal, industrial, and in every aspect of life? How many businesses that run the world right now would shut down?
I
Or
mean,
they
yeah,
would either shut
they would have
down
to
or they
pivot
would
real
take
quick.
over cannabis.
Yeah, and so I believe that to a point. I mean, when you think about the planet, we have so many people, so many humans on this planet that there are a certain number of folks who create an easier, more convenient life for a larger kind of mass amount, like the mass market, essentially.
Right.
So I'm not down necessarily on big business, like big being, I don't know. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole right now, but I, I do have hope. I do have hope for the corporations because
Yes.
we will need corporations. We will need leaders to make business decisions. I mean, as long as there's currency being exchanged, there are going to be people who are making the rules about that currency. And I think that's really where we're kind of like finding ourselves, right? With cannabis and big
Hmm.
business or cannabis. It grows in my backyard. This is all the medicine I need.
Yeah.
Like we're good. There's somewhere in the middle. And I don't think that the corporation's necessarily dead, but most of them are. Most of them are.
Yeah.
Um,
We need to
good
find
ones
that
will survive.
that middle ground.
Yeah, definitely. Yanni, I'm so grateful for you to just coming on and just opening up your heart really and your soul. And that's what it's all about. That's why you inspire me. And I'm just really grateful. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was great talking.
Absolutely. Hey, where can people find you?
On Instagram at Hazy Lioness, and then my businesses are at lioness.visuals on Instagram, at Hazy Times, and at Better Homes with Cannabis. And there's a dot in between each
Okay.
word.
I'm going shopping on Better Homes with Cannabis. I'm gonna find something for my mother-in-law. I'm gonna find her like a pillow. It'll be awesome. All right, sister. We'll talk soon. Come back, okay? I want you back on here because you're
Yes.
doing so many incredible things that I just, I love keeping track of you, and I want you to be able to use this as a platform for the good that you're doing in the world. So, talk
Thank
soon,
you.
sister.
Thank you. Thank
All
you
right.
so much. Have a good
All right.
day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. I guess we didn't talk about how we were going to. The podcast is over. No, I don't know. Yeah. We are still live, but I hate ending things like that. It's so
Oh.
inauthentic. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all going to be edited. I mean, this is live, but it's Saturday afternoon, so I think we're okay. Um, let's see. Yeah, no, we don't have any new comments. We're good. Um, but yeah, I'm just so glad you came on. Thank you. I'll let
Me
you
too.
know when this is out. I'm putting together some fun social content for it.
Okay.
Lots of fun social content.
Yes,
So
I have to send you the picture and the quote.
yeah, yeah. Again, no rush, right? I know this is the holiday season, and I'm so happy that we could finally do this.
Yes, me
This is
too.
everything
I'm
I
excited.
dreamed. Yeah. All right. Thanks, sister. Talk soon.
Thank you. Bye.